All right. So this is the third local talent productions show, local health. And so this is Sean's show. Eventually, we're just kind of pulling levers and pushing buttons right now just to get this thing, get the wheels rolling.
Nothing that we've said today is a prescription. Nothing that we said today is actual medical advice. You should consult your own healthcare professional.
See your doctor, people.
See your
Nurse practitioner.
See your healthcare professional for your own tailored, individualistic care. This is generalized information. Everything that we've discussed here is for entertainment purposes only.
Sometimes people eat. I'm not naming anybody in particular, but that isn't here, by the way, and I love her to death. But sometimes after dinner, I notice some mood changes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that can happen as a result of sugar changes in the body?
Of course.
Does that affect hormones?
Insulin has a huge impact on all of that. Insulin is a hormone. Insulin is produced by the pancreas, and little organ there in our belly. And so the beta cells of the pancreas release this insulin based upon food that's been introduced to the gastrointestinal tract, into the system.
So I've always been told, right, once you start, once your body starts to need fuel and you haven't eaten, it goes to the fat cells. That's where it goes. That's what I was grown. So in the example that you just give, where are
So the first place it's going to go is the liver and the muscle,
right,
for glycogen storage.
So for up to about 2,000 calories, you said, right?
Yeah, so think about glycogen's kind of like, okay, glucose is on the dinner table.
Okay.
It's food that's readily available. It's in the bloodstream. The insulin can take it, bring it into the cells to make energy, make fuel, right? So think about it as an analogy, is your glucose is like food on the table. It's readily available in the bloodstream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, once that's depleted or goes down to about 70, then the body's going to start searching for it somewhere else.
Okay.
It's going to find it in the liver and the muscle in the form of glycogen. Think of that like food in a Tupperware that's in the refrigerator. Okay, it's there, but there has to be some process to get it.
Sure.
You got to have the hormone glucagon released. Then you got to have
the process.
The glycogen turned into glucose
So
through
is this
gluconeogenesis.
Is this where you are really hungry and then you start to become not hungry?
Yes. So once all of that glycogen is depleted, now you're going to start to go target those fat cells. And the fat cells being broke down is what makes the beta hydroxybutyrate, that ketone body. That's where the whole keto diet that comes from, is you're burning ketones instead of glucose.
Okay.
What do I do if I want to drop, like, I don't know, a quick 15 pounds?
Quick
15
pounds?
I mean, just like, I got 60 days. It's not that quick, but, do I just switch to that other system? Do I get on because there's medicines now that are helping with this as well. But for, short term, I'm at home, limited diet, don't have a lot of time to do stuff. Is there things besides eating, making smaller portions and stuff that people can do? Because it used to be just exercise and eat
calories
less.
in, calories out.
Calories in, and now
look how well that works.
and now when I'm up at night, not, and I can't sleep, and Jason's shopping for floor mats for his Jeep, I'm looking up weight loss, and there's a super fit guy doing one arm pull-ups, and it's not about calories in, calories out. And I'm like, dude, it's not about working out. And I'm like, dude, you work out every day.
Look at you. So here's the thing, right? Being overweight or obese, especially in America, North America, is an epidemic. I mean, it's huge. In any body, especially here in San Antonio, which I think the latest statistics show that we're like the fourth or third fattest city in the country.
It's a great place to blend in.
We've got good food, right? Yeah. Good food. We got
tacos and carbs, man.
And barbecue
and
beer.
Mm-hmm.
So to answer your question, right? 15 pounds in 60 days. If we were going to study for a test and the teacher gives us a rubric, it says, all right, 90% of the points on this test is going to be your nutrition. 10% is going to be your exercise. And so the whole concept of eat less and move more, very at its simplistic level.
Is that 90%, 10% accurate?
Yeah.
90% of your health, 10% of it comes from your exercise?
Yes.
10% comes from exercise.
20% or 90% is what you put in your body. Yeah.
Fascinating.
What I tell patients all the time is, first of all, you got to cut out the calories that are just killing you.
Empty calories.
Empty calories. Your candies, your beer, your sodas, your sweet tea.
Yeah, I don't do any of those things, but I don't drink beer during the week anymore, but I do compensate a little bit on weekends.
Right, and a lot of patients tell me that. Well, I only drink on the weekends, but it's a 12-pack, It's a lot of calories in one sitting.
Yeah. It's not healthy to sit down and drink a 12-pack. You'd be better off having 2 beers a day. I'm pretty sure that almost anybody would recommend that, but it's still the same calories at the end of the 7-day period.
Right. So the first thing I tell patients is you got to cut out the empty calories.
Okay.
Snacking, the chips, the candy, the dips, the chips and salsa.
Chips and salsa.
These types of things.
That's me.
These types of things will get you, and they add up quickly. You get on the treadmill or you go for a run. Okay, I'm going to go run 2 miles.
It's a chip.
Okay. Right.
It is.
That's
2
one
freaking miles, man. I'm sweating. I'm like, I worked out today. I did it. And really, you've burned about 250 calories. One sitting of one little bowl of the chips and salsa.
Gone.
So a lot of it is spinning our wheels in the mud because of that 90% that we're not paying attention to. First thing I would tell you, if you want to drop 15 pounds, you got to ring in the nutrition. Second thing is the carbohydrates. That it's a big deal, But that doesn't mean that you go off the other deep end and say, okay, well, now I can eat a package of bacon, and I can have cheeseburgers without the bun, I can have all this stuff. No, now we've got a lot of saturated fats. And so we swing the pendulum the other way, right? So balanced. By far, the healthiest diet that's been studied all around for metabolic syndrome, for diabetes, for hyperlipidemia, for hypertension, it doesn't matter. Obesity, that's right. It's a Mediterranean diet.
Really?
Yes, by far.
So you're telling me the Mediterranean diet is the way to go. And so I can go up to and have the gyro and with all that bread and all that stuff. You're telling me I'll come
bread, right?
Up at what's that place, Papuli's or whatever.
Pasha's.
I can go up there and because that's Greek is Mediterranean,
that's
right?
That's right.
And that's great to have all the gyros because I look at the calories on that. It's like 3,000 calories.
Here's another thing to think about. A calorie is not a calorie. How many calories in a donut?
300.
About 300, right? How many calories in an avocado, a large avocado? Close to that.
Yeah, real close, yeah.
Yeah. Totally different physiological response in your body. Avocado is a superfood. It is a superfood. Literally, you could live off of a hard-boiled egg and avocados.
And I should have an avocado every day then, it sounds
That's
like.
right. So excellent fiber source.
Well, and the cholesterol's got the good cholesterol in the avocado too, so it's got the fat, but it's got the good cholesterol in it.
Avocado's an awesome food.
Well, my wife's been cutting up, just real quick on the diet thing, my wife's been cutting up bell peppers and putting them in a Tupperware and then dipping it in hummus.
Yeah, that's great.
Is hummus a superfood by any chance?
Hummus is great for you. It's a bean.
Really?
It's good for you.
It's got a lot of calories, but man, I've been eating the crap out of it lately.
So real quick, you keep bringing up the calories, and you brought up a really good point about an avocado and a donut. They're both about the same amount of calories, but your body's going to treat them way different.
Yeah, right. So you eat a donut, you have a huge glucose spike, a huge insulin spike. Over time, your body becomes insulin resistant. So when you eat an avocado, on the other hand, you don't have this huge glucose spike. In fact, it's not very large at all, right?
Insulin's bad.
Insulin's bad. When you eat the avocado, you have way less response of your glucose and insulin. So if I go back to how do I lose the 15 pounds?
Mediterranean diet.
Mediterranean diet is a way to go, okay? But also, there's something to be said about a calorie deficit. Putting yourself in a reduced calorie or calorie deficit. What does that mean by definition?
Calories in, calories out.
Right,
I was right.
Yeah. So, we're wanting to lose 15 pounds quickly. Well, one of the ways you do that is you got to make sure that you are burning more than what you're eating. Long term, that doesn't work out. There's some studies done. There's a great book called The Obesity Code by Dr. Jason Jung, I think. he's a nephrologist out of Tennessee who really, really has dove into insulin resistance, and diabetes and stuff like that. The studies that I read in this book showed that if you reduce your calorie intake to a certain amount, like let's say 1,200 calories per day, in the short term, you lose weight, right? Because you're burning more than you're taking in. But the problem is over time, in about 6 months, if you keep doing that, your metabolism, the basal metabolic rate of how much you burn, when you're not doing anything in 24 hours, will slow down to whatever you're taking in.
Oh.
And you stop losing weight. And so this happens a lot where I have patients.
They call that the plateau for people
right.
that are trying to eat.
Yeah.
The plateau.
So I have patients come in all the time and they tell me I only eat once a day.
Yeah.
And I eat barely anything. I eat a salad with, and that's it. And so I look at them and we calculate it out. And it's like 800 calories a day. I'm like, well, yeah, you're starving yourself. I lost 20 pounds in the beginning, but now I can't lose anything. Well, because your basal metabolic rate is now 800 calories.
That's what happened to me. I was 40 pounds. It's hard to believe. I know the camera adds weight, but I was like 40 pounds heavier than I am now. And then I got down to where I'm at now, and now I'm struggling.
Yeah.
So
one of the strategies now is you can start back at a calorie deficit, but you don't want to go too low. If you go too low, that works against you. You have hormones, incretin hormones, that will work against you. What's your metabolic rate? How much are you burning 24 hours? And everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have a higher basal metabolic rate. This is your exomorphic type of body type. This is the person that, skinny as a rail, and that you just watch them, they eat everything.
My girlfriend drives me crazy.
Yeah, they can eat whatever they want, and it doesn't matter. Well, you go back and you look at photos from the 1970s. We've all seen the memes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was fat.
Right.
What happened? We're all fat now. And what's changed a lot is that basal metabolic rate. High fructose corn syrup is one of the most poisonous substances you can possibly put in your body.
But what about corn syrup?
It doesn't matter.
Bastards changed the name.
Yeah,
they just
I
dropped
know.
the high fructose off it. Now they just call it corn syrup.
It's like aspartame. Now it's sucralose. And they changed the names and all this stuff. So, they get these bright people to come up with these chemicals that won't kill you right away and make you highly addicted. And they reward them for this.
it's like our podcast. It's highly addictive.
It won't kill you right away.
Yeah, it won't kill you right. I don't know that I like that analogy, Kevin.
So you were saying Mediterranean diet,
caloric deficit,
and so for me, I'm in my upper 40s. I'm thinking like 1,800 calories, 1,600 calories would be a fair.
Yeah, no less
to lose
than that.
because I got. What did I say? 2 months? What did we say? 7, 8 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
15 pounds. So that's about 2 pounds a week. Let's call it. So if
1 to 2 pounds a week is your goal.
So ideally, you should be eating a Mediterranean diet, and you should be eating smaller meals throughout the day, right?
No.
Great.
The whole smaller meals throughout the day, there's no real empirical evidence that shows that that's very beneficial.
They go
back
calories.
and forth on it. They're like, oh, it's great for you, and then they go back and say, oh, it doesn't do anything. So
I don't want to take the time to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something that I could have that is not going to jack my body up?
What I would recommend to you
Mhm.
is a hard-boiled egg and an avocado.
When?
If you want something quick, because I'm on the go, I'm busy, I'm a busy guy, I'm doing stuff, I'm an entrepreneur, right? I got fires,
podcast to
I got
make.
stuff to do, right? Get yourself some hard-boiled eggs and put them in your Instapot and make 12 of them, and have them there in your fridge out here, and avocados. And these are quick little snacks that you can get in 3 bites, and that'll take care of your problem.
And I can have that all day.
Yeah.
I mean,
you could have it. You don't like to eat all day.
Right.
If you did it like the once or twice and then had your big meal in the evening, that'd be fine.
Now, if you're trying to lose weight, though, you got to be a little bit careful because an egg and an avocado is about 370 calories-ish.
Without that huge insulin
But you
spike,
don't get
though.
the insulin spike.
That's
so
right.
You don't want to go to 2 eggs and 2 avocados and then 2 eggs and 2 avocados.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to not be able to have dinner because
The
you're going to...
beautiful thing about the macronutrients that are in the egg and the avocado is it's going to cause satiety. You're going to be satiated. You're going to feel full.
Right.
So you're not going to... if you're eating 3 of those, something's not right.
I pulled out the dumbbells and I put them in the living room.
Now you're talking.
And every other day I'm doing some arm exercise. My son's like, really, Dad? Really? And I'm like, you don't have big arms. But I'm like, every day. So every other day I'm doing some arm workouts.
Yep.
And that seems to be helping a little bit too.
Yes.
This week, especially, I've noticed a big difference for some reason.
Absolutely. So what I recommend, and this is based on some recent studies that I was read, is resistance training outperformed cardiovascular exercise for body recomposition and weight loss. Cardio is fantastic for your heart. There's huge amount of empirical evidence of how good cardiovascular exercise is for you. So I don't want to downplay that. But when it comes to body recomposition and weight loss, resistance training outperformed the cardio. You Google full body dumbbell workout, and you do that 3 days a week. Okay, so I get my dumbbells, and I'm going to start off with some deadlifts with my dumbbells, then some squats with my dumbbells, then my bench, and then shoulder press, and then bicep curl, and then my incline bench, right?
You know, Kevin, you have enough resistance. You could just do squats.
Yeah, thanks a lot, asshole.
So I recommend resistance training for you, the guy who wants to lose my 15 pounds, 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Tuesday and Thursday, I want you to at least walk as a baseline for 45 minutes. So that's your cardio.
So we got the formula then. If you want to lose, 15, 20 pounds in, a couple months?
Let's add the water, though.
Yeah, okay.
I recommend 3 liters of water a day.
So that's 3/4 of a gallon roughly? Or is 4?
Minimum would be 3 liters of water.
This is a liter right here.
Yeah.
It's 32 ounces-ish.
Yeah. So, most of the time, these little bottle waters are 500 milliliters. 1 liter is 1,000. So two
of those is one of these green bottles, yeah. Except for yours has the label, mine has a sticker.
Yeah. So 3 liters of water, and what that does is helps your brain, of course, and helps your muscles, but also helps with satiety, being full. Why do people? A lot of the times they snack and stuff because they're hungry.
Munchies.
They got munchies, yeah. And you eat these
Without
empty calories. You eat this crap that doesn't fill you up. You got the MSG and all these chemicals in there that screw up that whole process of becoming satiated.
So what about somebody with high cholesterol?
So eggs are not going to cause somebody to have high cholesterol. Of course, with everything, right? You eat 10 eggs a day, we have a problem.
Well,
eggs by far are awesome for you, even the yolk.
And the yolk tastes good.
Well,
I think it's Jason when you put the bacon is when you.
Well, the long and short of everything, right? Moderation, right? If you're eating, if you have high cholesterol and you're worried about the egg yolk of a hard-boiled egg, you should probably be worried about all the other shit that you're not talking about.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Michael Moore diet, or Michael Moore. We were talking about the Mediterranean diet, and I saw Michael Moore one time on Jay Leno, and he was talking, man, I just got back from Italy, and they have socialized healthcare, and he was doing his little pitch on Jay Leno's show, and I was just kind of rolling my eyes, and he's like, man, the other thing I love about Italy is the food is so good. I don't understand how everybody over there is walking around super skinny. I eat the same food they ate. Look at me. And Leno's like, portions? He's kind of like, maybe you had the second piece of garlic bread, all that kind of stuff. And so portion size and everything, of course, too.
So what I always tell people, look at your plate, right? In the size of your palm should be protein. Okay, if it's larger than the size of your palm, it's going to be excess calories, more than what your body can process at one time. So the 12-ounce steak, the 16, 20-ounce steak, you need to split that in 4s and give it away. So the palm, half the plate should be vegetables, and then maybe palm or a quarter of the plate whole grain.
So how long? And I know this is a loaded, stupid question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I have no shame. How long does it take for your body to process a meal portioned like that?
So everybody's different, right? Everybody's different. Everybody's body is physiologically is going to adapt differently. You throw things in that are off, right? So if your biodome, your gut bacteria is not good, it's going to take longer. This is why you get bloated and things like that. Some people get a lot of abdominal gas and cramping and stuff
Well, and
like
reflux and allergy season and reflux, there's some correlation there. We're going to talk
that.
about in an
Sometimes
upcoming
there's
episode for
food
sure. But
sensitivities. People have sensitivities to foods, or they have a delayed gastric emptying or gastroparesis, and so it depends on the person, to process through all that.
there's a lot of help now too in the medical industry. The pharmaceutical companies have come up with some magic pills and some things that are with diet and other things, of course. And I want to get, can you touch on that a little bit? It used to be everybody would just, take speed.
Yeah.
And those days are behind us now because
Yeah.
we've understood the molecules and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so what's the fastest going thing in the industry right now for medical help?
So there's a new drug out on the market now, tirzepatide or something. I can't remember.
Is it a shot?
Yeah, it's a shot. It's called Mounjaro. Okay, that's the brand name.
Mm-hmm.
Mounjaro is a GLP-1A, but it also has something called glucose-dependent insulinotropic peptide, which is GIP. So it's GLP-1/GIP. The GIP helps also with insulin sensitivity, but it also helps reduce some of the side effects that are caused by an increased GLP-1A. So people are losing up to 30% of their body weight sometimes. I've had a patient lose over 100 pounds already on this medication.
And what kind of time
which would have
frame?
been impossible. It's been a little over 36 weeks, something like that.
100 pounds in 36 weeks.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
And you're in
With
there's
less side effects.
And so, what are is there ads on TV for this? Because everybody's heard the Ozempic.
Ads
jingle.
on Facebook.
Yeah. So right now, currently, Mounjaro, I can't remember the name of the generic name. It starts with a T.
Oh, there's a generic.
No.
Oh.
There's the molecule.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It is being compounded at compounding pharmacies, though.
And that's a way to add. So if you go see a health professional and they're talking to you about this, you want to ask about if there's a generic or a comp.
Well, of course, you anytime you can get a generic, you're going to save some money.
Yeah, well, they might not always tell you.
These are patent brands that do not have a generic and probably won't have a generic for 5 years. But you can get it through a compounding pharmacy, where the compounding pharmacist makes it. So
tirzepatide.
Yes, tirzepatide or whatever. I can't remember.
It's this right here.
Yes,
Look at me.
that's
It
Just
sounds
call
like
me Jamie.
it sounds like a
So
land in
that-
Disney World.
That
or
is the
something.
GLP-1, the glucagon-like peptide with the GIP, the glucose-dependent insulinotropic peptide.
And it's a weekly injection?
It's a weekly injection. So this medicine is having more success than the semaglutide Ozempic. But it's currently only FDA approved for diabetics. So if you have insurance, the insurance company isn't going to want to pay for it unless you are diagnosed with diabetes.
How long has it been on the market?
Not very long.
How long do you think it'll take before?
A year, maybe less.
How long do you think it'll take before the FDA or the?
This is supposed to be approved for weight loss by the summer.
Okay.
I heard May or June.
It's
July.
outside my 60 days. Not going to work.
You're just gonna have to go with that 90%.
Now for all these medications you just talked about, you need to see a healthcare professional,
someone who has prescriptive authority that can prescribe the medication.
Well, and so how do they get around it? Because I'm on Facebook. I just saw actually tonight or this morning. It was tonight. It was 3 a.m. on Facebook where
You
you
talk
can
about your sleep, my friend.
Yeah. you can actually. I mean, you can get it.
You can.
So
You have to have it prescribed.
right.
So
Well, I mean,
maybe
so was my
tell a
glucose
doc or
monitor.
whatever.
I'm not a diabetic, but I
Right.
had to have it prescribed.
Right.
But that's a little questionnaire.
Right. So they're getting around it because it's a compounding pharmacist that is compounding the molecule.
So you've mentioned that a couple of times. I know you got to go. Can you break that down for me? Compounding pharmacist.
Yes.
So the guy at CVS has got his own little place in the back where he's making his own drugs.
So the only retail pharmacy that I know of in San Antonio that does compounding is H-E-B. So there's a compounding pharmacist at H-E-B. Walgreens, CVS, stuff like that.
So
You're
pharmacist.
Yes.
Person.
A person.
Not a lab.
Well, he uses his compounding pharmacy to compound the medication. You have to have a certain designation as a pharmacy and pharmacist to be able to do these types of things.
And so compounding, what's happening is they're taking the raw materials and making their own.
Like the recipe and making it.
Right.
So Empower Pharmacy in Houston is one that does semaglutide or Ozempic. It's not Ozempic.
Right.
It's semaglutide. Same. It's the molecule.
Right.
That's what they're making,
Mm-hmm.
and you can get it compounded at a much cheaper price than would if you paid the branded price tag of $1,000 a month.
Compounding pharmacies. Is this a new thing?
It's not new, but it's becoming more and more prevalent.
Because this is the first I've ever heard of something like that.
Well, I mean, is it like your local meth maker? I mean, is it kind of like that? You're extracting and putting
Only with
stuff,
a license.
yeah,
Well,
right,
yeah,
of course. But
yeah,
I mean,
of
you're
course.
pulling stuff out of ingredients out of certain medications and putting them together. I assume they have the raw ingredients, so they don't have
Yeah,
to
they don't have to
extract and all that.
They're not crushing up Sudafed, dude.
But they're chemists.
Maybe we could get the pharmacist from Zicam.
I see a lot of stuff at the drugstore.
Yeah.
Or at grocery stores and the 7-Eleven and all that stuff, and lose weight and all. Is that all just high sugar, or not sugar, but high
Appetite
B12 vitamins and stuff? I mean,
Most of that stuff is a bunch of B vitamins.
and the B stands for bullshit. I mean, is that a fair?
No, so B vitamins help you process the food that you've eaten into energy. So B vitamins are very important, but it's a water soluble vitamin. You pee out what you don't use. There's not a whole lot of evidence that shows that it's going to cause weight loss. I haven't seen any random controlled trials where they've actually blinded and gave people B vitamins compared against the standard weight loss treatment and compared it to see, okay, does this actually cause weight loss?
Perfect.
I would say no. The very simplistic breakdown is you must control insulin in order to lose weight.